Yo, what is up guys, it is Games here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be trying to tell you and somewhat showing you the most efficient gem grind and trait reroll grind in this game. Now, obviously there's a lot of videos on this which I have seen, but not many of them have actually showed the best way to actually do it, and there is easy ways to do it that are less efficient, but the hard ones are more efficient, but obviously they're more difficult to do. But the one thing you will need is TinyTask. So as you see, well, TinyTask, it's basically, everybody knows it, it's what everybody uses to macro and auto farm. If you just search up TinyTask, you know, on the whatever Play Store or Google or whatever you choose to download, you'll have it there. And it's pretty easy. You have an open, you have a save, record, and a play, and the prefixes. The prefixes you always want on continuous playback. When you record, that's when you start your recording. Now you have to try and sync it in with when you respawn, so that is the main key point that I want to stress out. And then what you do is you stop the recording, you save it, and then you press play. That is basically all you have to do. You know, most of you guys probably already know how to use it. There's a bunch of YouTube videos on how to actually get them working, but this isn't what this video is for. It's the most efficient grind. Now, I've talked about this for quite a lot of my friends, and they all kind of give the same outcome on what is best. So I'm not going to mess you around. It's going to take quite a long to get through it, but basically, pretend I was here, or wherever you spawn, wherever you want to start. It'd have to be somewhere near the spawn, because, well, that's where you spawn, and in every infinite run you can't redo it, so you have to come back to the lobby. So wherever you spawn, what you want to do is you want to go all the way to the left, like this. Then you want to wait a little bit depending where you spawn. Then you move right a bit, you go into this wall, and then you also wait a bit depending where you started. Then you move back to the side, go straight forward, move the character around, and then you've got Windmill Village, Mob City, or Cursed Academy. Now, most people do Mob City on wave 45. Now, I don't know if that's the best one to do, because Cursed Academy, if you didn't, would technically give you more XP. So, it's kind of personal preference. I know people who do Cursed Academy, I know people who do Mob City. Nobody really does Windmill Village, but Mob City is the one that most people do. So, I'm just going to click that, you do infinite mode, you confirm, and if I get out of shift lock, then you can start the game. But try not to be in shift lock when you did that, because, well, I did that wrong. Doesn't really help with much. And then obviously you just spawn in, and then if you got units like mine, they're quite expensive, so you can't really place anything down yet. And what most people do is they just place a bunch of, you know, a couple of units down, a couple of them mythicals. They don't really level them up that much, but I'm just, for the sake of this, I'm going to put my GARP down about here. And you should realistically spawn in about the same place, or if not, you more or less have this, you know, you have an area to place it. So what a lot of people do is they spam click around the area until they get one, so they just start like placing like this. So you start doing this just anywhere in this general area that you want to get the kills going. And then obviously your highest damaging units are the ones you want to do. It's going to be dependent on the spawn, so that's why people don't usually tend to upgrade them. They just tend to spam a bunch of units. And what they kind of do is kind of put all these units down until they reach wave 45. Because some people did 15, some people did 30, some people do 60, some people say you do the entire thing. But from what I've seen is every 15 waves you get a trait reroll crystal, or every completion of 15 waves. And 45 just seems like the most efficient from what I've seen. So you want to see with your units how long it takes you and what takes you to the bare minimum to get to that certain wave. And then you want to sell your units, which you could do, which actually could be the better idea because you'll be getting kills a lot faster if you put your units at the start. You sell your units, then you get that wave, and then as soon as you get back to the lobby, that's when you click stop recording, and that's when you start playing again, and then you put it on a loop, so then it keeps going over and over and over and over again. Now, it is easier to just do the story modes because it has a retry option, but this is, well, slower to do, to be honest. You don't get as many gems, you don't get any trait reroll crystals, and the XP is quite frankly not great. So infinite's the way that people are getting a lot. Now a lot of people do this on alt accounts as well, so they can trade themselves shinies, star fruits, you know, everything from the challenge modes, so they get a lot of gems. That's what a lot of people are doing to try and keep up with the pay to wins. So that's also a very good idea. If anybody able to do that, just make alt accounts and trade yourself, you know, buy gems from the stores, from the shiny units on your main. You know, there's an interesting amount of ways you can like abuse the system in this game with the trading. But yeah, that is basically it. There's not really much else to add. It's kind of a basic video, but this is basically how it's done. You just wait until you get wave 45 or wave 44 realistically, and then you just sell your units, and then rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now the only issue with this is, since you are going back to a lobby, depending on your internet, if it spikes, the internet speed could be like faster or slower, which is why you run into that wall for quite a long time, because it gives a few seconds of leeway. But if you get connection issues and like it'll just completely mess up the whole thing. So that's the only issue with it, because obviously if your internet goes off for a couple of seconds per night, which I know some people's do, 'cause that's just normally how it goes, then it's gonna stop. And at that point the story modes one would be better. This one is better. Again, TinyTask. There's a bunch of videos on how to use it, but it is pretty straightforward. And then that's basically it. So hopefully that helps. Sorry I couldn't do it as visual as much, because most people have used TinyTask in other games, so they kind of know how it works. This is just the strat that a bunch of my people on the level leaderboard have got to, and they have a ton of gems, over 100,000, so they clearly know what they're doing. But subscribe if this helped, comment if you have any you know, comments or tips you want to put in the comments on stuff that I may have missed. But that's basically it. I hope you have fun on the update, hopefully this weekend. Like and subscribe, and yeah, peace out.